Hello. How is everybody today? I hope you're all doing well. I'm just eating some of my ingredients while we wait for everybody to join. I will give a shout out. So I have a bunch of colleagues, awesome colleagues of mine that recently subscribed to my channel, which is so amazing. And one gentleman, Ron, is here. So hi, Ron. There's your shout out. And of course, a lot of my regulars are here today, which is so awesome to see my friends and family joining every week. I've been doing this since April, which is a little bit bonkers just due to the state of the world, but it's always appreciated every week that everyone joins in. So it really warms my heart. So thank you. So I won't be able to follow the chat too much, but have fun in there. Keep it family friendly because I think there's also kids watching. But I have a really delicious recipe again for you this week. It's a little bit different because it's a little bit more of a snack, but I actually eat it for breakfast a lot of the time. So I wanted to show you guys because it's a really good staple recipe. And it is oil-free, low calorie, which I'm trying to watch my calorie intake lately. And it's really easy to make and just super delicious. So today we are going to make a vegan pate. So it is going to be a white bean sun-dried tomato pate. But when I first made it, I remember a while ago, it was so savory and the color, it actually looked like the old pate I used to eat, which was made out of pigs. So it's very authentic, but it's very delicious. So I'm going to show you guys quickly the ingredients because they're very simple, and then we're going to put it all together. So let's go. So the first thing we need is a can of white navy beans, and I'm so hungry, they're just good on their own. So when you do beans, these are from a can, and when you use canned beans, you don't have to cook them first for this, but you want to rinse them really, really, really well. So if you're worried that the beans are going to give you a little, you got to rinse them, that'll help. And there's also something in beans, obviously, that makes you a bit gassy. But if you eat a couple, 2 to 3 servings of beans a week, your body just eventually gets used to it and you won't feel any kind of bloating. But they're really amazing for protein. So that's what we need there. The other thing we have is some onions and garlic that I've been cooking down. And we have some herbs and spices. We have lemon juice. And another thing I wanted to show you guys, which is a really neat ingredient, are these sun-dried tomatoes. So usually sun-dried tomatoes come in oil. And so this original recipe had all the oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, plus it had an extra 2 tablespoons of oil, which is like 300 or 400 calories, and oil is just really not good for you. So I actually found these dried ones, and all you do is put them in boiling water, and then you can use them as sun-dried tomatoes. So I wanted to share that with you guys. And then we also are going to use some tomato paste as well. If you have it, you can get vegan Worcestershire sauce, whatever it is, and you can use that in it as well, and it'll give it it'll just add more rich flavors to it. So this is a very rich and savory pate or spread, and I usually eat it on toast with tomatoes on top, and it's so delicious. So we are going to put this together right now. And I noticed my friend Courtney in the chat mentioned that if you take your B vitamins, it'll also help with the bloating from the beans. And note on B vitamins, so a lot of vegans have to take B vitamins because most people get it from eating animals, but the animals don't even have it, and they actually have to give the animals injections to get the B12. So basically, B12 used to come from the soil, dirty soil, and you would ingest it from all sorts of different places, I suppose. And now the world is so sanitized in the way that we raise animals, is they don't ingest it either, because they're just given feed. They don't actually probably come into contact with eating any soil. And so that's why they have to give the animals injections so we can get our B12. That is a long B12 story, but anyway, that's the story of B12. So let's go ahead and put this together. And I want to make a note. I'll put you guys on a different view there. Hopefully that works. So for the onions and garlic, so this is 1 medium onion and a couple cloves of garlic. I was able to cook it down a lot and almost caramelize them. If you have the time, always do that. It's so delicious. But if you don't, at least cook the onions so that they're at least translucent and you get rid of that really sort of raw flavor from the onions and garlic. So make sure that you do that. So what we're going to do, I have a very small kitchen food processor. So if you have a larger one, it's way easier. But I find the food processor is a bit better than like a Vitamix, because the Vitamix has a tall canister and this is a bit wider. So what I'm going to do, because I've made this so many times and make it easier to like mix together, is I'm going to put some of the beans in on the bottom here. And then I'll put more beans as we can fill them in. So we're going to put our onions in. So just layer them in. This is what you have to do when you have a small kitchen and you can't fit an actual blender in your kitchen. So we're going to get those in. I don't want to waste any of these caramelized onions are like gold because they take so long to make. And these onions and garlic I just cooked down in a pan with water. I didn't use any oil or sugar or anything to brown them. And these are what the sun-dried tomatoes look like when you soak them in water. So we're just going to take them out. And if they're a bit wet, it's fine because we do need moisture in this. And another tip I'll tell you right now is this water that comes out of the sun-dried tomatoes, I actually used it to cook down some of the onions, so it gave it even more flavor. And then you can save this water for anything else you're cooking. If you're trying to be oil-free, save this water with the sun-dried tomatoes. And then if you're cooking some sort of Italian sort of flavored meal, then you can use that water to cook your veggies. So there's a lot of ways you can get flavor without using oil. If that is what you're trying to do in life, is get rid of oil consumption, it's very easy. So these are the sun-dried tomatoes. Now they're all super soft, just like they would be if you bought them in a can of oil. And we're going to cut them down. And I just noticed a comment from my dad saying that he loves sun-dried tomatoes, so I'll have to make this for you because this is so good. So we got our sun-dried tomatoes. So that they asked for about a 1/4 cup of that. So that's going in there. And then in here, I have about 2 teaspoons each. Hope you guys can see that, of chives and parsley. If you have fresh, use it, but I don't. So I'm using dried. And then that will give it a nice bit of green. You could even, like, if you had some kale and chop it down super fine, that would be really delicious because kale and white bean go really good together. So now we're going to, we have so many rich flavors in here. We've got our sun-dried tomatoes. We've got our caramelized onions. I'm going to put a tiny bit of smoked paprika. I'm just guessing that this is probably a teaspoon. That's going to go in there. And then I am going to put a bit of salt in this, not too much. And then I am going to put a lot of black pepper because I love black pepper. You can put more. And this is something, the salt and pepper, you could also leave out until the end if you wanted to just test it. I don't think anything here has much sodium, but, and then I'm using also not fresh. If you have fresh lemon juice, please use it, but I'm using bottled lemon juice, and we're going to do half a lemon's worth, which I am guesstimating at 3 tablespoons. So this is 1.5 tablespoons. We're going to throw that in there. And then you would add your vegan Worcestershire sauce if you have it. And then we're going to do maybe about 1 tablespoon of the tomato paste. I love these tube ones instead of the tomato paste in a can. I don't know why anyone buys tomato paste in a can, because you only use a little bit at a time. So there's about 1 tablespoon there. So that, I'm already full on this, which is a little concerning, but I'm going to put a little bit more beans in here. Again, this is just because it's my food processor is so small. But if you were doing this in batches, what I would do is finish all this, blend it, and then blend the rest of your beans and like mix it in later. So we'll see how well this works out for me. So plug your ears, guys. It's going to be loud. So we're getting a really nice texture there. And I'm gonna mess. Oh yeah, so we got enough moisture in here, I think. So you want it to be thick like a pate, but you still want the pieces of sun-dried tomato and onion to like come down a little bit more. But let's add our more beans in here. It'll be like a cliffhanger to see if I can fit all these beans in here. Oh, I did it. Look at that. I think I have a bean escape. There we go. All right, let's see how we do here. Sorry, this is probably a very boring part of this video, but it must be done. All right, so that is looking probably pretty done. Yeah, so I don't see any big pieces of the sun-dried tomatoes. Try to chop those up small to begin with. I've had a problem before where I got just like a giant chunk of sun-dried tomato caught in my teeth, and that is not pleasant, but it still tasted delicious if you like sun-dried tomatoes. So I'm just gonna put, look at that, beautiful. So I'm gonna put some of this in a little bowl here, and honestly this is really delicious. Let's see if I can focus in. Oh, look at that. So it looks just like a pate, and if you were to put this in the fridge overnight and let it settle down, it'll get really nice and thick. Or what you can do is adjust back some of the lemon juice, because the original recipe even called for a little bit more water than the lemon juice. So it's probably a little bit too thin at that point. You want it to be like a spread, right? So my favorite part of the video is the taste test. So I just have a little Ryvita cracker. So these, well, I think all of the Ryvita crackers are accidentally vegan. But I have a little rant about Ryvita, because Ryvita used to come in packs like this. I stocked up, and they have a little strip on the back so that you can fold the top of the package down and like tape it back up and keep it. And I love that. I love that the packaging is resealable and you don't waste it or whatever. But they recently started packaging all of their flavors in individual packs of 4. So you get this packaging, plus you get more plastic inside. I don't like it. I'm going to write them a strongly worded letter. Okay, let's do this. Oh, my cracker's breaking. So you can see the spreadability of this. And you can see all the colors, and it looks like a really awesome pate. So let's see how it goes. Smells delicious. When I was cooking the onions down with the sun-dried tomato water, it was so good. It's so good. The sun-dried tomato comes out first. And if I had fresh lemon juice, you would totally get that fresh lemon juice. I'm getting a little bit of sharpness from the lemon juice, but fresh lemon would be amazing. And one of the plant-based doctors that writes all these books, Dr. Greger, actually suggests you can do your own lemon by peeling it and blend the entire lemon and use that in your cooking, and then you still get the fiber out of the lemon. So actually that would be delicious here. So let's take a look. Look at the texture on that. Delicious. So again, I usually put this on toast in the morning with tomato or cucumber on top, and it is really delicious. Really fills you up with the protein. And if you are someone that is watching calories or whatever, the last time I measured this out, it was about 16 calories per tablespoon, which is awesome considering like hummus is 40. And then I think it had almost 1 gram of protein per tablespoon, which is also awesome. Oh, another quick recipe for you. Not quite a dinner, but every once in a while I like to jazz it up with some dessert or snacks. So if you haven't already, please click down below and like this video. Share it if you feel for it. I'm going to put the recipe in the comments later, so you can always come back and check it out. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Tell everybody to subscribe. It really helps. And please continue to watch all my videos and join me every week. that is it. I'm going to eat the rest of these crackers, and then I'm probably going to go for a walk, even though it is very dark outside. So everybody, thank you so much. If I missed your chat, I apologize. I can't see it, but have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye.